What up? What's up everyone, Max here, Muscle World. I had a very bad back, so I slept on the floor for 2 weeks, and this is what happened. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a spinal expert, so what I'm going to tell you now is just my experience. I developed a very bad back over a period of a few years. Slowly but surely, I was sleeping in a bed that was way too soft for me. I'm quite heavy in the hips, and my hips were sinking down, and my posture was going all really bad. And I was starting to get very tight muscles and pains and things like that. It was started off small, but it started off with a bad neck here and there. It would last a few days, then a little bit of a bad back, which would last a few days. Stretching and walking would resolve it. But after a few years, things started to get a little bit worse, and when I was having to stretch for longer, I was having to walk for longer, and if I was too busy to do these stretches or go for these walks, then things would start to ache and be very painful. So I really had to stay on top of it, and I found I was just going out walking all the time and stretching all the time, and that was quite kind of not really getting me anywhere. It was just kind of keeping me about the same, or so I thought. But I think things were actually happening with my spine. My spine was actually starting to change shape, and my pelvis was starting to go into a different angle as well. It was starting to tilt the wrong way. So I'm a weightlifter, so I'm doing a lot of training, and I'm doing heavy squats, heavy deadlifts and things like that. I need my back to be in the right kind of position. So when I was lifting weights or boxes or whatever, I think I was using bad form to do it. And particularly when I was doing deadlifts, I started to get a lot of pains when I was doing them. And I don't quite know what happened to my back, but I was in a lot of pain with sciatica and mobility issues, and I was just hobbling around like I had something wrong with me. I didn't go to the doctors or anything like that, so I never had any kind of assessment about what I actually had. I do apologise, I have a cat on me, so if you see me, my hands moving around down here, then it's to do with this little critter, and I'm not doing anything untoward. You're going to rip my back pains. It went on for months and months, and nothing was getting any better. I tried all the different stretches and things like that. So, cut long story short, eventually I decided, right, I've had enough of this bed. The bed is causing the problems. Take away the source and see what happens. So I started sleeping on the floor. And so I just want to tell you my experience of sleeping on the floor. So first of all, I started off with a floor with a roll mat on the floor, so it wasn't just fully on the floor. I still had a little bit of padding, like a little bit of a foam padding on the floor, like a camping mat sort of thing, a pillow and just like a duvet sheet sort of thing to keep warm. And the first night was horrible, really uncomfortable. And now I've slept on the floor before, I've gone camping before, I used to be in the military, so I used to sleep in all sorts of places, and back in those days I never had an issue with it, so I always found myself comfortable regardless where I was sleeping, whether it was a concrete floor or whether it was a floor in the middle of the woods. I always had some kind of level of comfort. But for me, sleeping now on the floor with a lovely roll mat and in the bedroom, I was very uncomfortable. It was hurting me uncomfortable. It was actually less comfortable than the bed, which was for me really uncomfortable. It felt like my kind of stomach was too high up. It felt like I was at a weird angle. So this is because I just think my body had gone into... Charlie, come on, you're being a nuisance now. My body had gone into kind of a weird sort of position that, from years and years of sleeping in this bed. So now it was it was uncomfortable in what should be more of a neutral position, which is flat on the floor. So the first kind of few nights were really bad. I didn't get much sleep. I was waking up at least every hour to change position, roll over, stand up, stretch, I would go to the toilet, just to kind of move around. It was maybe about 3 or 4 nights before things started to actually kind of ease off, and I was getting more kind of blocks of sleep, maybe sort of 3 hours of blocks of sleep, rather than sort of waking up every hour or every half hour and getting only a couple of hours sleep a night. I stuck to it because I know that things don't just happen straight away, particularly when I've been sleeping in a bed for 2 or 3 years. I can't remember exactly how long I've been sleeping in my previous bed for. I've been sleeping in for that long that it's going to take that long for my spine to be affected. I'm not going to be able to resolve it one night sleeping on the floor. So I figured, look, just stick with it. It takes, I was thinking it could take up to 90 days or so before I get any kind of feedback from it. So I thought, look, you're in this for long haul, Max. You might be doing this for 3 months before you even start to get any benefit from it. Because they do say when you get a new bed that you need to give it at least 90 to 100 days before you can make any kind of decision as to whether it's the right bed for you, because that's why a lot of them have a guarantee of 100 days or so before you can take it back. So anyway, after about a week, things started to get a lot more comfortable in the bed, on the floor. I adjusted it slightly, so I've put another mat underneath, just because I've got the laminate floor underneath, so it's winter as well, so I get that extra bit of warmth. So after a week I started to sleep better. Pains were not so bad, should we say. Pains were getting better. And then every night then really it became a bit more comfortable, to the point where I wasn't even noticing it, and I was actually again looking forward to going to sleep. I was looking forward to going to bed and knowing that I'd be lying there relaxing. So after 2 weeks, and I've been going for about 3 weeks now actually, but after 2 weeks was when I really started to notice a difference, and I noticed a difference with my posture throughout the day. I noticed a difference with the fact I had a lot more energy, possibly because I'm sleeping better. I mean, I've never slept greatly. I've always kind of woken up throughout the night, but I was definitely sleeping better than I had been for the last kind of 2-3 years. So I was getting better sleep, and also my posture definitely felt better. Walking around, I feel a lot more powerful in how I'm walking around. I don't feel like it's an effort just to kind of stand up straight. I've had absolutely great results from doing this sleeping on the floor experiment, should we say. Like I said, it's something I've done previously, but I never had back issues when I was younger, and it was just something now that's happened over a period of time of having poor sleeping posture. It definitely helped me, but it was difficult at first, and it gradually got better. But I generally think that's the same with everything. It takes about, from my experience, about 2 weeks to get into any kind of routine with anything. So whenever I try and change anything or try and put something new, I always try and give it at least 2 weeks before I can turn around and say, look, yes, it's working, or no, it's not working. So far, so good. About 3 weeks into this sleeping on the floor malarkey. Anyway, let me know in the comments, guys. Have you tried sleeping on the floor? Are you sleeping on the floor? What's your bed like? Let me know, and it'd be great to hear from you. Have you ever had a back injury or back pains? How did you resolve it? Let me know in the comments. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you all very much, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you in another video. All the best. Bye-bye.